Right, welcome back to Morning Live. And in studio right now, I'm joined by Mr. Samuel Gashagwa from Samburu Girls Foundation, who will be telling us more about what has been happening, of course, in Samburu itself and other parts of the country where FGM, sometimes they like to call it female genital cutting, but of course the word is FGM, female genital mutilation, is actually getting through because now it's being fought from all angles, all over the world actually, and just some few communities still practicing it, but so far so good. Karibu sana.
Thank you very
But of
much.
course, Bwana Samuel, it's a vice that has been fought for so many years.
Yes.
So far, how can you just term the success story of fighting FGM?
FGM actually has been reducing so far.
Okay.
We have seen a lot of uptake in terms of government agencies being more proactive in terms of fighting female genital mutilation.
Okay.
We have also seen lots of elders.
Okay.
For example, just a few days ago, we have the End FGM conference,
Okay.
the national conference in Narok, and then we went to a place, Ukochini, deep in Loita.
Loita.
It's a border of Kenya and Tanzania, Masai areas. And we have the elders out there. They actually declared a village-free community.
FGM-free.
Yes,
Interesting.
FGM-free
Interesting.
community in Loita.
Yeah. The government, of course, is planning to eradicate FGM by 2030.
Yes.
And people like you are very instrumental in making sure that this happens.
Absolutely.
So how are they involving you guys?
I'll speak from the perspective of young people.
Okay.
Young people are actually the next generation that are actually going to end FGM.
Sure.
If you look at FGM, it's happening to people between ages below 35 to 12.
Okay.
So us as young people, we are at the forefront of fighting FGM. And that's why we started the Anti-FGM National Youth Network, which is actually being involved by the government through the Anti-FGM Board.
Okay.
We also have international organizations like the Girl Generation, which are involving and helping grassroots activities to take place. They are funding small organizations, not these big ones that ask for thousands and thousands of dollars, but these small ones which are actually having impactful activities down on the grassroots levels. And that's that's the most important. When the government works with these grassroots organizations and young people, we are actually going to see an FGM-free generation in 2030.
Okay. Now, Narok has been hotspot. Let me say it's been somewhere. It's a place where the cases are too high.
Yes.
And so far from your transits, how is it so far? Is it being controlled, or because the resistance has been coming from Narok especially?
Yes, yes. We have a few hotspots. Actually, in Kenya, we have about 22 hotspots counties.
22?
Yes, and you know one of the highest counties is Kisii County.
Kisii?
Yes.
Of all the counties?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
It's happening.
Tell us more about Kisii County.
It's over. It's almost over. I think 68% girls are undergoing FGM in Kisii County. Obviously, in places like Samburu County, it's around 87%. Statistically, but the funny thing, it's actually very low in Narok.
It's very low.
Yes,
The
it's
opposite
actually
now.
low. It's less than 50%.
Because Narok was one of the hotspots,
Yes,
big hotspots.
yes,
Now, what was
yes.
done to actually reduce it now?
But in terms government,
The government,
and then
oh.
they have a very, very good commissioner, county commissioner. It's called, his name is
Natembeya.
Natembeya. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You actually know about him.
Yes.
Yeah, he trended a couple of days ago. He's no nonsense. He
Yeah,
actually had said when girls go to school, they will all be checked to see if they have undergone FGM.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is something that activists had an issue with, but we are still revisiting the issue. But all these counties, they are reducing gradually. The few counties that we really need to put a lot of effort in is Muslim populated counties. Mandera, Wajir, all those counties in northeastern areas. Most activists, they are scared of going to that area because they are not from that religion or their community. So we need to do a lot, especially the government, in terms of trying to find out how to end FGM in those areas, which to some places it's about 98%
Okay.
of the girls' FGM rates.
Yeah.
They're
It seems
being
like
cut.
more communities are embracing the change.
Yes,
So far,
absolutely.
so good, I can say.
It's slowly
It's taking shape.
very slow,
Okay.
but gradually it's changing.
Now,
Yes.
I understand, culture is very hard to change because at the end of the day, you have to respect the Maasai culture, the Kisii culture.
Exactly.
But still now, when modernity comes to erode this culture, of course, you're fighting it. How is the response? And so far, are they accepting the fact that indeed we have to change our culture?
When you go huko mashinani kabisa, the response is not as great as you'd hope
Okay,
to.
on paper, what we see, yes, statistics show that blah, 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 it is reduced by this percent.
Yes,
But
yes.
now, you are the people who go, actually, you're hands-on. Tell us more about that.
It's tough. It's tough. I work in Samburu County. There was a time where we had been called with Samburu Girls Foundation, my founder, Dr. Josephine Kulea. We had been called to go and rescue one girl. And when we went there, it's like the Morans knew that we were coming. In Samburu County, FGM goes hand in hand with child marriage. So the girl is cut the morning of her wedding.
What?
Yes, yes, that's how it happened. So we had gone early in the morning, but the Moran, I don't know how they knew about us going to rescue the girl. So we found them waiting for us with guns.
So in short, you're going to take someone's wife away?
Yes, they call us wife snatchers.
That's very dangerous. That's very dangerous.
Yes,
yeah?
it's not.
So how did it go that day?
We got shot at, we went away, and then
those guys shot at you?
Yes.
Wow.
And then, but it's a life of a girl, young girl. She has a future. She's going to be a pilot, a doctor. She's the one who might be the one to end corruption in Kenya.
Absolutely.
So
Did you have security or something?
We had to go back, get the police, but then because of the issues, the police, they wanted fuel and whatnot. Sometimes it gets difficult, but that time we were able to give them the fuel, and then they came, we rescued the girl.
Private security?
No, so the
government?
actual police.
Fuel for what?
Yes.
Anyway, this is interesting.
To fuel the government car.
It's disgusting. Anyway, let's now talk about the statistics. Yes, you mentioned Narok is really actually adapting very well, and enforcers actually doing marvelous jobs. Now, when you look at our borders, for example, Tanzania, Kenya, we have Maasais also. Tell us more about these neighboring countries, the Maasai, these cultures that are actually practicing. Have you ever maybe experienced some cultures in our border countries? Because at the end of the day, being a border country, there's an exchange program. Something is happening.
Yes.
What is happening like Tanzania?
It's happening right here in Tanzania. It's happening. When you go to Kajiado down, it's actually happening down there. People are there. Sometimes wanaenda Tanzania because it's much easier. It's much easier down there to undergo FGM than in Kenya. If in Kenya you are found out, there are lots of activities taking place, and activists speaking out against it.
So in short, these guys, they moved to Tanzania to perform and then come back home.
And then come back home.
Yeah. So what is being done about that?
Now, not so much in terms of legislation, but when you look activists, that's the only thing. That's the only thing right now in terms of. And then there is also one more thing that in terms of cross-border FGM activities happening is the ones who are in diaspora. They're coming back to Kenya, getting cut, or going sana to Tanzania, and then going back to their countries to continue with their studies and whatnot.
Now, when the government says it will completely eradicate FGM by 2030, not so far, by the way, we are at 2019.
Yes.
Yeah, some
it's
few
less
years
than
to come.
15 years.
Less than 15 years to come.
Yes.
Yeah, so the machinery they will use. At the end of the day, it has to work with the people on the ground. You're the people on the ground. Are you happy with what is being done so far? Because by 2030, it means there's quite some long way to go. Less than 15 years to go. And that means it's not so easy. So you've encountered resistance. So that means government will be pumping in some resources for you guys to actually operate seamlessly. What are some of maybe these things government wants to involve you guys in making sure by 2030 we have no FGM in this country?
One thing the government needs to do is raise the funding for anti-FGM board,
Okay.
Kenya. They are heavily underfunded. Heavily. These are guys who are operating in at least 22 counties, the hotspot counties. There are other counties, and they are underfunded. And then they have to go around. As much as they are not the ones who are implementing the law, that's in the part of the national security agencies, but they are the ones who are doing the biggest job. Sensitizing the communities,
Okay.
talking to the communities. That is how you're going to end FGM. One arm of the law that has really had a lot of laxity is prosecutions
Okay.
and the police service. And I'm going to call out Mr. Matiang'i. I really hope that he gets this message, but he needs to do more in terms of protecting the lives of girls. Because a life of a girl, when she's undergoing FGM, that's endangering her security. That's his mandate. In December last year, mid-December, there's a girl who was undergoing FGM in Meru. She was forced to undergo FGM. Unfortunately, she bled to death.
Oh, sorry about that.
Right now, her body is still in the mortuary. The parents ran away. The police are doing nothing to investigate this issue. We have been talking about this issue on Twitter using hashtag FGM killed Jalida.
Yeah.
Her name is Jalida, and we are really pushing for it. Because if the government agencies work in their part, hand in hand with the anti-FGM board, we are actually going to end FGM in 2030 or even sooner. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Samuel Gashagwa. Ending on a
Thank
sad
you.
note, FGM now kind of taking a life of a young girl. It's very unfortunate. Anyway, let's hope the solutions actually be found.
Yeah.
And all the best. We'll be supporting you as a media angle, of course, Switch TV.
Thank you.
We'll be supporting
Thank you.
you.
Thank
So you all actually are doing a good job. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming to the studio.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's all we
Appreciate
had for you right here on Morning Live. My name is Nick Mudimba. Our sign language interpreter has been Evelyn Wangui. On behalf of the all maybe technical team who took part in making this production successful, have yourself a brilliant morning. Jace Omondi is coming up next with Full Circle. Okay, a young